speak, then you won't get spoken to. People only see you when you up, then they notice you. Trying to be a legend, create lines is quotable. Only the real shall last, and I only know a few. People when they feelings always acting emotional. Ain't about a check, then it ain't negotiable. Gotta show respect to the people that's posting you. Soon to be on posters posted up like the older dudes.
Now we aging like fine wine, how we supposed to do. Peep the shade on the timelines, this time posted cool. Shit is black and white like photos from a disposable. Certain situations you ain't end up uncontrollable. All up in they head, I be so confused. I just brush it off, peep the shoulder moves. We all got the same 24, so it's no excuse. Switch it up, we could rap or produce. The things you can't have is forbidden fruit.
Well, first of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find.
Could have, would have, should have is the difference of what I'm talking about. The good teams don't come in and say could have. They get it done. All right? It's that simple. I'm tired of saying could have, should have, would have. That's why we ain't good enough yet. Because we're saying could have and they ain't.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your host, Nathan Snell of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. This is season 11, episode 19, Washington Commanders versus those Green Bay Packers. Before we get into it, there's a few things I would like to say up front. Gus Edwards is actually probable to play in today's game against Cleveland. So that's going to be interesting to see. But let's get into it really quick because I know I have a few minutes before I have to join Sean Spencer and Nick Rosario. Well, Let's Talk Football Sunday at noon. So after that very interesting victory against those Chicago Bears, going up against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. A couple things. Randall Cobb is out until November. Sammy Watkins is active. Christian Watson, I believe, is questionable. He should be good to go. We all know Aaron Rodgers is a lethal weapon. We know he has shown moments of that. They have struggled as an offense. Same thing with most teams this year. Marcus, what's going on? What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. We do know that with the wide receivers this year, they have struggled, and that I think is going to be Washington's advantage. But I'm really curious to see how Green Bay's receivers against our DBs are going to be a factor. But I think Green Bay is I think they're going to focus more on the run. Because I believe they're 15th in total offense and 24th in scoring offense. Defensively, they're ranked 5th against in total defense, 5th against the pass, even though they're 27th against the run. So that's going to be interesting to see that. Washington, coming out the gates, I feel like I'm actually going to say that to the end of the video, towards the end of it. I think Chicago was a start. There's some confidence. But I do have some questions on both sides of the ball, particularly as the schedule progresses. Looking at injuries, Washington does have some issues. We're already going into this game today with now 9 players. Carson Wentz will be out for a month now, and we all know Chase Young, and then Mathis, he's dealing with a knee injury. So that puts a damper on things. Yes, Mr. Taylor Heineke is back out there. And from everybody, when we were struggling, was calling for him to be the starter because he brings more excitement to the offense, even though I didn't see it personally. This is his time to shine and see what he can do with this offense. Because coming in this game, we're 24th in total yards, and I still think you're going to see a mix of run and pass. Brian Robinson, I believe, as the season will progress, will be our number one running back. I'm putting a guarantee on that. And yes, you know, with Terry at the helm, you know, let's see how Terry McLaurin looks. You know, he has not been able to get off to he's been off to a slow start. Antonio Gibson, I mean, he's been looking well, but I'm curious to see how with him out there the offense just goes. But I'm not going to be the dead horse with that. For Washington, I think the key is our offensive line versus their Green Bay's defensive line. Green Bay is currently 5th in sacks through 6 games. Because you got guys like Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, and those guys. Washington's depth of offensive line has been tested. Sam Qasemi, Chase Roulier, been down with injuries, and you got Andrew Norwell and Trey Turner. Curious to see how these guys look, particularly against that front four. Preston Smith, another one, has had 19 pressures so far to start off the year. So curious to see how they keep the sacks down. I'm curious to see, again, the DBs versus the wide receivers. I think that's going to be an interesting matchup to see how our corners match up against the wide receivers. Example, Dobbs versus Brandon St. Just. Because most likely I could see him on Dobbs most of the game. That's just me. And then looking at, and I think it just starts with our offense. Joe Barry, for Green Bay, he has not really played through his strengths of his defense. He's not used the strengths of his defense of his players. That was the biggest criticism when he was in Washington. Scott Turner, same thing. I think he's just very lackadaisical in his play calling, and does not take advantage of opportunities. I mean, they haven't. I'm just curious to see how they're going to get talent out of both their offenses, in my opinion. But I think this is going to be a mid-scoring game. I'm going to say the Washington Commanders surprise the Green Bay Packers 21-14. Guaranteed. I think it's just going to be one of those games. I mean, I just don't see Taylor coming into this game and lighting the world on fire. The Green Bay Packers have lost back-to-back games. I know Aaron Rodgers is going to have his guys motivated. They've struggled to just move the ball last 2 weeks, Green Bay. So I just think that it's just going to come back down to whose offense is going to just take over. That's how I just see the game. But until then, we're going to move to our last segment of the podcast. Final message.
Incoming message.
Yes. All I'm going to just say is enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday. Hope it was a good weekend. Hope you were able to do something. Hope you were able to enjoy the weather. It's coming up and down. One day it's like in the 40s. Next one it's like the high 60s, low 70s. So I hope you guys just enjoy the rest of the weekend. Hope you do something fun, because, the weekends just go by fast like that. But also, too, the most important thing is we need our hour of sleep back soon. So that's even better. But with that being said, please like, comment, subscribe. This has been your host, Nathan Sell, Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace. Stay up.
But I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. Thanks for the kind words. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode and you want to see more content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bring your sports game on Big Nate Sports Talk.
I ran away from heartbreak. Got nothing in return for my pain. I never thought I'd be so empty, so alone and afraid. Wasn't looking for a lover. Nobody understood where I've been. I guess I thought I needed more time to protect my love from potential offense. So I